Okay. Somebody told me in the chat that everybody knows the answer to the question. And then I asked, well, what's the question? See, so, but you have an idea, I suppose, right? Because you clicked on it. I was going to go with something different, something a little more overt, you could say. But I thought I'd see what you thought, see why you're here. Yesterday, we talked about the elephant in the room. This is the elephant in the room today, I guess, or I don't even know. Like what I think is, I don't think like a normal person. So I'm not sure if it's insensitive to ask. And there's something else that I've been thinking about in relation to, Diamond of Diamond and Silk passed away yesterday, apparently. Right. So that's what's in the thumbnail. Is there's a picture of her and it says the question everyone is asking. And who's everyone? That's the other. Who's everyone? I don't even know. I don't even know if people are asking the question, actually. I know I'm asking the question, but actually, other prominent people, I haven't seen as much interest. Like, I'm really interested. That's why I think I'm not. It's just I think there are ways that neurotypical people think about things, and the way I think about things, and sometimes that makes the way I think about things offensive, because people say, you have to be respectful of people who die, and then there's some period after people die where you're not supposed to say what you're thinking, or you're not supposed to say anything bad. And I don't understand why. That's all. But just because it doesn't occur to me, like, why is it so bad? But people take great offense especially when you speak ill of the dead. And I'm not intending to today. But I also don't understand why you can say things about people when they're alive that you can't say about them after they're dead. For example, like that. Like, why is that? It seems much more rude while they're alive to talk shit about them. Seems like once they're dead, at least you're not going to hurt their feelings, right? Yeah, I got in trouble with another live streamer. Another live streamer threatened to kick my ass because I talked ill of another live streamer who passed away suddenly. Because he was a jerk to me, basically. This guy who died, he was like a jerk to me while he was alive. So when he died, I was like, well, fuck that guy. The guy was always a jerk to me. And so this guy was like, I can't believe you said that. I'm gonna kick your ass. I was like, are you kidding? But see, that's just because I don't think the way normal people do, apparently. So yeah, when this thing happened to Diamond, I don't feel any way about it, because I wasn't a fan of her show. And so she had no impact whatsoever on my life or anything. And so it's sad for people who liked her. But like personally, the only thing that comes to my mind is, oh, was she, what? The question that I proposed in the title that everyone is asking. No, not everybody's asking. Normal people, made a tweet about this. Normal people don't talk about the elephant in the room. That's what normal people don't do. They don't talk about it because they figure, well, nobody else is talking about it. Must not be that interesting. But there are some people that see the elephant and they're like, holy shit. Hey, guys, like, why aren't we talking about this? Without realizing it's not the done thing, Normal people are good at figuring out what the done thing is. So we're trying to figure out how to do things within a world that's mostly normal while not doing the done thing. Exactly. So thanks for joining me for the show. I will continue to lure you here with titles that can be taken one way or another way. I mean, there might be somebody who thought that the question was about Michelle Obama. There might be somebody. They might think, oh, is he going to talk about how much, the conspiracy theory about that person, right? I even have somebody in Rockfin chat with that name. Okay, so anyway, I don't know the answer to the question, but I certainly am curious because she was pretty young. I don't even know how old she was, but she was pretty young and not super fat. But that's the other thing I'm getting in trouble for right now is talking about fat people. She was fat though. So but those are the two things that came to my mind right away. I was like, well, she was fat, and did she get the Operation Warp Speed, especially being such a big fan of Donald Trump? Because I'd like to know, like, why she died. But she was kind of fat too. So it's important. So we are, I was brought up fat phobic. So I don't want to be fat phobic. I found my family, even though they're liberals, were fat phobes. And once I was fat, and then I felt bad because my family were against fat people. But it might have been good for me because it is not good to be too fat. So I'm going to talk about it. I'll give life advice for people who might be struggling with that issue because it's difficult. All the stuff they put in our food and stuff, all the ways they tempt us. So I'll talk about strategies if you'd like to hear them. Or even if you don't, I'll just say it because I have what I know, what you want to hear about. I just take a guess. All right. All that. Also, let's see what else we're going to cover in the news today. Yeah, they call him Yoba. I was just listening to a stream about Baked Alaska. Baked Alaska just got sentenced to 60 days in federal F me in the A prison. So apparently he's going to be in jail first. Apparently he might not be in there for a couple days. I'm not sure. But but people are making a stream about him right now, like dunking on him. But I still think it's wrong. So I'll cover that case too. We'll cover Baked a little bit. We'll talk about being fat. And there's some new stuff at Twitter I could tell you about. And we'll collect your coffees and read them to you too. Oh, and yesterday's show, if you were here for it, we were knocked out. We had no power. So the power went out at an inopportune time last night in the middle of the show. So hopefully that doesn't happen today. It's not raining now, but we have had the weather has been serious. There's been flooding near us. And we did have a long-term power outage last night, one of which interrupted the show. So hopefully we'll pray for no rain during this stream so we don't get any power outages. And we'll give you the rest, all of the information that you've been craving here on Lift the Veil. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is. joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news. Yes. I can't even start talking till the intro's over. Sorry, there might have been a click. Some people in the chat were complaining about the clicking noise. Yeah, that was because of the power failure. And when the computer reboots, then there's clicking. And I have to close that app that runs my audio through and reopen it. And then that should solve the problem. So thanks for letting me know. All right. So our goal is to be a successful YouTuber. If you would like to contribute to that goal and keep the show going, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil and you can leave a coffee or you can become a member, and the memberships are called student. So, and then I can share information there to people who donate. So I haven't even done it yet. I've just made promises to share information sometime in the future, but I have some ideas. Hopefully it won't get me in trouble. That's what I was worried about. I was going to share some stuff about some topics. Buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. You can leave coffees, a note, or become a member. All right there at that app. And if you want to, and I am wearing classic, let me see, Truth Revolution clothing gear today, which you can check out at truthclothing.io. That's our website for clothing, which is really nice. All right. So anyway, let's see. I guess as far as the diamond story goes, which is maybe what you tuned in for, I don't know the answer. Does anybody know? Because I am certainly very curious whether she was or not. Because if she was, then, well, I don't know. I mean, then that would kind of, for a lot of people, that would explain it, right? But otherwise, she was very young. And so it is unusual. And she wasn't super fat, but she still was a little. So I don't know if that contributed to it. So I can talk to you guys. Let me give you the news first. Well, I can give you news about fatness actually first. There's new guidance from the government about obesity in kids. All right. And it's saying that they should be getting medication and surgery at a super young age. So check this out. There is like a real problem with fatness, especially in America. I guess because of fast food, or I mean, people eat a lot. You don't have to eat so much. That's all. And you shouldn't drink soda and too much alcohol, because those things make you fat. But the foods are bad here. But yeah, kids are getting fat. I mean, how do they eat so much? Did they not get an exercise because they're on their devices and stuff? You don't even have to exercise that much. I'll explain it to you. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be a gym bro. New guidance: use drugs, surgery early for obesity in kids. In other words, like there's no other prescription. There's no way without medication or surgery, apparently, for people to lose weight. Children struggling with obesity should be evaluated and treated early and aggressively, including with medications for kids as young medications. I mean, aren't people mad about trans stuff for kids? I don't know what the impact of these drugs are on kids, unless they're giving them speed, which will lower your appetite. But that is like I don't know. You can give kids Adderall. People don't eat as much. Your metabolism goes up a little bit. So I don't know what it is. I have to look into, actually. Looks like an injection that they're showing here in this picture, Wegovy. Here's actually, I'll read what it says here. This image provided by Novo Nordisk in January 2023 shows packaging for the company's Wegovy drug. God, I got to look into that. Children struggling with obesity should be evaluated and treated early and aggressively with medications for kids as young as 12 and surgery for those as young as 13 who qualify, according to new guidelines released by the American Academy of Pediatrics yesterday. A study published in the New England Journal of Medicine in December 2022 found that Wegovy helped teens reduce their body mass index by about 16% on average, better than the results in adults. So it sounds like the government and pharma figured out some intervention that they could show in a study actually worked, and they found a way to market it. So they, and the government markets medication now. Oh, you guys don't even know what they were doing about the shots. I have a whole new Twitter files about that. I'm just going to make a separate video. There's a whole new Twitter files about what they were saying, what they were doing to true information, just so people would get the shots. How much, what did the government go through to get people to get the shots? Because it is extraordinary. I want to see the payments they made to TV companies for them, like the payments they made to late night show hosts for doing skits about the vaccine. I want to see that too. So anyway, this isn't about that. This isn't about the shot. This is about some new medication that they're trying to push on kids who are fat because they've decided. I mean, what kind of world do we live in where we're celebrating fat people, where we put on the cover of a magazine a fat person and you say this is healthy? Then what do you expect the kids to be like? And then the kids get fat. Turns out they stay fat. And then you say, oh, we'll put them on medication. How's that a way to handle? Like, people can regulate their own body weight naturally. Like a human being should be able to consume should be able to just eat enough that they're full and not have to eat more than that, and not have to eat whatever snacks or what is it? I don't even know. Sodas? Are people still drinking sodas? Red Bulls? Diet sodas? Diet sodas, I heard, made you fat too. I was drinking diet soda when I was fat. When I was fat, I had diabetes, high blood pressure, I sweat all the time, my back was messed up. I started losing my eyesight. Trust me, I know about it. So anyway, they say waiting doesn't work if they don't intervene. And I have to really look into these interventions. Wegovy. Okay, maybe I'll do some research with you in real time. Wegovy. Side effects. We'll just say that. Why not look up Wegovy side effects? FDA approves new drug treatment for chronic weight gain. And then it shows the side effects. Let's see what they are. Most common side effects for Wegovy include nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, constipation, abdominal pain, headache, fatigue, indigestion, dizziness, abdominal distension, belching, low blood sugar, and flatulence. Oh, that's cool. And maybe gastroesophageal reflux disease. So we'll have to take a look at what the study is. It looks like the drug just came out June 4th, 2021, the FDA approved the drug for weight loss. The only other drugs I know of for weight loss, I know that they were prescribing a type of stimulant called Vyvanse for something they called binge eating disorder that the tennis star Monica Seles was pushing. Binge eating disorder. They came up with a new disorder, right? Which is where you eat a lot. They call it a disorder. And then they let you take this form of stimulant, speed, like Adderall, called Vyvanse. They prescribed it for that. But I haven't heard of anything else. I'll have to see, have to do some research on how this drug works, because obviously the government is saying do medical intervention. Coincidentally, they just came up with a medical intervention, and there was just something published about how it works. So you see how it works. That's like so messed up now. You can't tell people, oh, just eat less or go for a walk. If you just a life hack, you don't have to go to the gym to be healthy. It's cool, like guys like it if you have big muscles, but girls don't really care. And you can get all the health benefits, most health benefits, and like longer life and all of that just by going for a walk outside for like 30 minutes a day if you can. Even if you did that 3 times a week, that's better than most lazy effers, 30, literally, it's not even that hard. I think they make it seem too hard. Gym bros, oh, I go to the gym every day. You don't have to. Jesus didn't go to the gym. That's all. Jesus walked around and healed people and then caught fish sometimes. Right. And so he's somebody you're supposed to look up to. He didn't work. He didn't lift. People didn't lift. People didn't lift. We didn't used to have to lift. We didn't even have such a thing. That's kind of like a new thing where guys think it's cool. But go for a walk. If you can do that, you're better off than like most lazy people if you just go for a walk. So I'm trying to make sure I do that every day, because sometimes I'm working too hard and I lose track of time and I don't walk. So today, even today, I did the dishes instead. But I did take Sumi to the park, but that's not good enough. I need to do more. So part of my life advice is for myself too. Are there good diets? Yeah, and then eat good food. Don't eat fast food and stuff and processed foods. Have your fruits and veggies if you can. That's all good advice. Don't be fat. You'll die, probably. Yeah, it could be the reason Diamond died. Might not be related. Don't know. All right. Let's see. Oh, I have this other. I told you guys about Baked. What was I going to say more about it? Baked. Everybody says he's a fed. So we'll see. I'm talking to him. So I'll see if I can get him on the show. And then we can ask him all the questions that people have. So he's apparently going to jail. I'll find out what the updates are on it. Let me see if I have an update. Oh, okay, cool. Maybe I'll get him on my show. Cool. He doesn't have to go to jail. So I'm going to get him on my show. So we'll give him all the hard questions then. All right. That's cool. That's a news update. He got sentenced to 60 days just for live streaming. But people say he was hanging out with Ray Epps in advance of the thing. All right. So this is this Twitter files that dropped. This attorney general in Missouri is releasing information on Twitter, which is as good or better than the Twitter files. which is as good or better than the other Twitter files, the real Twitter files, because this guy has some stuff that they got from the government, between the government and Facebook and YouTube. And I went over this in a separate stream on my channel. I did a video about it, his first post, and then this is another set of posts. And basically what it reveals is everything I've been saying, which is that the whole thing about misinformation and limiting misinformation wasn't even really the thing. They were trying to limit vaccine hesitancy, regardless of whether it was true or not. And these emails basically outline how they censored or limited the reach of anything that they thought they could say it was sensational. All right. I'll try to read to you from this. Let me give you the best part of this. Twitter, the guy from the government told Twitter it was mad that the Birdwatch feature, where people can add notes, which I think they call community notes now. They didn't like that people could add notes to government. Here we go. This is from Facebook to the government, including this guy, Rob Flaherty. And what it says is here: levers for tackling vaccine hesitancy content. Okay, not untrue content, not false content, not misinformation, vaccine hesitancy, anything that could cause vaccine hesitancy. It says, you also asked us about our levers for reducing virality of vaccine hesitancy content. In addition to policies previously discussed, these include the additional changes that were approved late last week and will be implementing over the coming weeks. As you know, in addition to removing vaccine misinformation, we have been focused on reducing the virality of content discouraging vaccines that does not contain actionable misinformation. This is often true content, which we allow at the post level because experts have advised us that it is important for people to be able to discuss both their personal experiences and concerns about the vaccine. But it can be framed as sensation, alarmist, or shocking. We'll remove these groups, pages, and accounts when they are disproportionately promoting this sensationalized content. More on this front as we proceed to implement. Okay, so anyway, the way it worked with content, any kind, is that if it could totally be true, like it says, often true. It's like what I got censored for. Information that was true, but because it could cause vaccine hesitancy. And then they'll say, oh, it's sensational. Like you could interview somebody who had an injury, and they might say, oh, well, you're sensationalizing it. If you add, what if you add music, or you make a movie like Died Suddenly, right? That's sensationalized. So you can't make it. So you could maybe put out the information if you do it in a really, really boring way where nobody hears it or where it doesn't have any impact. But why are people putting out the information? You have to think, it's like, what was the motivation of somebody putting out content that makes someone hesitant? Their motivation is so that people don't get the shot. I mean, that was their motivation for making the videos. because they're worried about people's health, you know? As far as I mean, in the most charitable look at it, but I'd say in most cases, because I don't think while there are people who do gain financially from what they might call anti-vax or conspiracy content, that is not the norm. Like I certainly didn't, I didn't gain anything. Any people don't, like if I make a vaccine, like people don't pour in the donations or anything like that. So it's not, for most people, it wasn't for financial gain. Maybe for some people, but I think even in that case, like it's a stretch to say that people do anti-vax stuff for commercial interests. But it's possible there are people who make money, but I'm going to assume that most of them kind of believe what they're saying, but don't know for sure. But most people who are making content were thinking of the people who listen to the show like, oh, I should warn people. Like this is happening, right? Like this kid died after getting the shot. Or other content talking about how a lot of the content I made was about breakthrough infections and how I made a lot of content about how vaccinated people were still going to the hospital, right? To let people know, that it's not what the government says. But anything like that, they would say. I mean, what was my intention for making it? My intention for making it is so people don't get the shot because it might hurt, because it might, like that would be my intention, right? So that's the kind of thing they censored. So that's why it made it totally impossible it made it very difficult to be on social media. So I guess that's why places like Rumble took off a little bit during the whole thing, because you could talk about it there. And now on YouTube, it's gotten better, right? Like I hear Viva Frey or Viva Fry, I don't know which one it is. He's always talking stuff about the shots, always, in a way that I probably wouldn't be allowed to, but still it's happening. And then Dr. John Campbell and Jimmy Dore and stuff, people are kind of getting away with it now. So I do think the tide has turned a little bit. And maybe the White House isn't, maybe now that nobody's getting the shot anymore, the White House isn't so concerned about selling shots. But isn't that it? Just imagine you're Pfizer or Moderna. The government gave you the order for all the shots, and then they help you promote the shots. And they help you promote the shots so much that if anybody says anything that is, even if it's totally true, maybe especially if it's true, that would make people not want to get the shot, it gets censored right away. Think about being those corporations and just how amazing it is. And then you can buy good coverage on every channel that's for profit. So you have the government on your side censoring anyone who says anything. The one guy said natural immunity works, and they want to censor that. He said, "Oh, if you had a previous infection, it's probably good enough, right? You might not need another intervention." They want to censor that. Or, oh, kids are at low risk. You couldn't say that. You couldn't even say. I think that's one of the other videos I got censored for. Is like you couldn't even say that COVID is low risk for kids. Just the fact. Like if you said, oh, the flu is deadlier for kids than COVID, which is true, they would censor it. So I don't know. I mean, one of my predictions for 2023 is that they will change the rules. in effect, the rules have already changed because you can say more than you used to be able to say. But these revelations, these documents show exactly. I mean, in this one, it says this is often true content. Often true. So totally true. Could have been. So, I mean, oh man, it's gonna be bad. You know, people are dying still, right? The dying hasn't slowed down, even though the shots have slowed down significantly. The dying hasn't slowed down, but like people keep dying, it seems like. So how long is that going to go on for? We don't know what's causing it. And by the way, the World Health Organization, local health authorities say or confirm that the vaccine is safe and effective. So don't let anything I say dissuade you from that. And definitely get everything the government says. The government says your fat kid needs to get injections because they can't control themselves, and do what the government says. Don't tell them, oh, maybe you should do jujitsu or I don't know, go to fat camp. You can't teach kids. You don't want to teach kids like self-control. That's the worst thing you could possibly do. Just teach them that there's a drug for that. That's what we want to teach our kids. Teach them that when they have a problem, rather than taking personal accountability for the things that they can change, that they should probably take a pill or an injection. And tell people all through COVID, don't tell anybody like to exercise I mean, what did they do the whole time we had COVID? Never mention exercise, vitamin D, and then, the other things, hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, which you used to not be able to mention either. I mean, what a scam, huh? I mean, what a terrible scam. While we're just getting some of the information coming out, I don't know how I feel about people who got the shots. Like, I don't know if people are finally gonna put it all together. It's amazing how long it takes for people to wake up. It's amazing how long it takes. Like, we knew about it pretty much right away, what was going on. But other people are finding out about it now to where that's like the elephant in the room. But it was the elephant in the room way back when too, for some of us. But those people were totally effectively silenced and cut off from the internet and everything. Basically told that they couldn't participate in regular society. So, yeah, good Twitter files. Maybe, I don't know if there's anything else good. Just talks about how they want to censor stuff. Anything. Oh, this is great. This says Facebook needs to do better. I'll show you this. It says, here's the thing. You know, and I know that the universe of undecided people searching Instagram for vaccines as compared to, say, Google is probably low. But removing bad information from search is one of the easy low bar things you guys do to make people like me think you're taking action. If you're not getting that right, it raises even more questions about the higher bar stuff. You say in your note you remove accounts that discourage vaccination from appearing in recommendations. You also said you don't promote the accounts in search. YouTube, for their warts, has done pretty well at promoting authoritative info in search results while keeping the bad stuff off of those surfaces. Pinterest doesn't even show you any results other than official information when you search for vaccines. I don't know why you guys can't figure this out. So that's what they want. Like, where people search and all you see is information that's approved by the government. That's the world they want us to live in. And you can give a charitable reading of it. You can say, okay, well, they thought the shots worked and they thought it was what was best for everybody. But it doesn't matter. I mean, you have to have free discourse. It changed the entire course of the pandemic that people weren't allowed to speak. And it makes us like no different than the Nazis in a lot of ways. I know it's crazy to compare anything to the Nazis because they killed all the Jews and stuff. But as far as like controlling the message, like a office of official propaganda, I mean, we basically had that going for us. Like the U.S. population is only allowed to get this official message, this official government approved message. So anyway, we're here anyway. We're fighting the good fight. You decide how good it is, but we're fighting a fight at least for freedom, for not dying, hopefully, not dying suddenly, not dying too young. I'll check my coffees. The one way you can support this show, or one way, not the one way, because there are other ways too. But one way you can do it is by going to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil and leaving a coffee. I'll see if we got any this show and if anybody left a message. And then I could open the phone for a second. We've been taking phone calls. It's been going okay. Let me just make sure I got my Buy Me a Coffees up to date. But by the way, because I noticed we got some people tuned in, 248 people tuned in. And so far, no super chats. And we got a couple coffees. Someone bought 3 coffees, just one person. So obviously you guys don't appreciate the content that much. Or should I do better? I'm trying to get my internet grift handled. I give you guys this option, buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. You can donate. I see other people who live stream. They get super chats. So it's up to you though, because I could go back to doing something else. I'll open up the phone. 650-429-8294 if you want to call in. But yeah, I'll give you a hard time once in a while. I got you tuned in with the title though. 650-429-8294 if you want to call in. I'll take a few calls. And I'll look for more coffees. Maybe people just weren't warmed up yet. We do bring you entertainment. Yeah, we do some research on it too. You can become a member there as well. It's only $7 a month. Buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Thanks to someone who got 5 coffees who said, Nathan kicks ass. We love the way that you verbally lace your way through difficult opinions. We can actually see the gears turning in your mind. We watch every show. Don't change. You're good. Stay with it. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I do have to catch up though, because this week I really haven't gotten any coffees. So help me out. This is Nathan. You're on the air.
Hey, Nathan. It's Jim from Baltimore. How you doing, brother?
Hey, Jim. What's up?
Look, man, I tried to buy you about...
You buy me a bunch. You did buy me a bunch. I'm not getting mad at you.
No, I mean, tonight, I tried to buy you some just to open your phone.
Oh, okay, good.
I tried to buy you 1 coffee at $5, right? And then it didn't work. And, like, it's weird because when it puts up the card number thing, and you type in your card number, it starts swapping it up like over and over and over again.
I shouldn't give people a hard time. People have to do what they want to do. It's okay that you couldn't donate. I appreciate the effort. You've already bought all kinds of stuff. No, it's okay. You've given a lot of money to this show.
What?
You've done a lot for this show, and you also call in and participate.
Yeah, dude, I'm just talking about tonight, man. I'm just trying to let you know that when you try to donate $5 to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil, for some reason on my laptop it kept switching up my numbers as I was typing my numbers in for the fucking.
Well, sorry about that.
I really meant to buy you a $5 coffee just to, but you actually you read my mind and took calls tonight. So
Yep. What
that's
did you want to
good,
call
man.
about? I actually took calls anyway. So what did you want to talk about?
Well, I was just wondering about last night. Like, man, it scared the fuck out of me, man. Like, I saw you, like the end of your stream. Like, I saw you, like, looking, like, kind of scared or something. Like, and then you're like, it's pitch black in the
Yes.
background.
Yes. Just the power went out for like 3 hours, maybe. So
That's not too bad, man.
no, it wasn't too
Oh,
bad.
man, that's nothing.
Our food, the stuff in the freezer didn't thaw out or anything. So it
Yeah,
wasn't so
man,
bad.
that's the main thing, man.
Yeah.
Like your food didn't get fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah. So we were cool. No big deal. And I got through most of the show before the power went out.
Yeah, but like it was freaky, like watch you like trying to talk, but I could like it's still on the end of your stream, like there's no vocal on there.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I don't know. I tried logging in on my phone and the microphone, it said the microphone didn't work.
yeah, I know,
So
I know how that works, but like
yeah, it
it's
was
just kind
weird.
of freaky, like just watching you like trying to talk
I
and
know.
there's no vocal. It's like wow.
I know. I know.
Yeah, dude. So like, how's everything going
Every,
over in California? Like there's been a lot of storms, right?
yeah, we've had a lot of rain. Enough rain where stuff was flooded. Like Katie had to come home from work early because she could have been trapped there because of floods.
Holy shit.
So yeah, it's been pretty serious. And areas near me, Santa Barbara and Montecito, like Montecito is nearby, and it got evacuated because of mudslides. And one of the roads near me was closed because of mudslides and rocks. And there's another storm coming in tomorrow or something. They just keep coming.
Makes you wonder, man. Like, cause, well, as you know, with movies, like they talk about California being like screwed.
Mm-hmm.
And then like now here it is, like in 2023.
Yeah, I know. We're about to go down river. Well, we'll see. Hopefully we can handle it. It's good to, they say we're always in a drought, they say in California. So when we get rain, people are like, oh my God, climate change. It's like we actually could use it. So might as well fill up the reservoirs and stuff.
Yeah, man. Like the reservoir, there's a reservoir in Maryland. It really screwed our place up. But anyway, I'll let you go, man.
All right, Jim.
I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, cool. Thanks. See ya. Let's see. One of my techniques for getting super chats is to bully people. Thanks, John Demas, for letting me bully you into that really nice super chat. Thanks, Kernode, for the super chat in pound sterling. Appreciate it. And then I'll check my coffees again. I know people, I don't want to make people feel bad though. People who do donate to the show. It's just, I got to figure out, my life and stuff. I make the show, it's good, but I have to figure out, maybe we'll figure out what to do. But in the meantime, donate to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. I'm going to work on some stuff with Chat GPT, I think. Maybe we'll write some things. So I was listening to a Twitter Spaces today about Chat GPT, and people are talking about how this one guy was saying how he would show it to like an old person and have him tell him his life story, and then have Chat GPT turn it into a book, turn it into a novel, and how that was cool. How he would, like, this other old lady would have her tell him the recipe for something, and then the Chat GPT could make it into like a recipe book. So I have an idea. I'm going to work on a pilot for a series, and then maybe we'll work on a book too. And then maybe we'll do a news website that's just written by AI. We'll see. We'll see. We got to try to leverage things, have lots of oars in the water. That's what they say. But this is the primary oar. The primary oar is here, where I beg for super chats. Yeah, that's what I decided to do with my life. Well, if I had to give life advice, I would say don't try. I could explain to you how to do it successfully, But the first thing I would say is don't try it. Like kids all want to be YouTubers. I would advise against it. Like it's exceedingly difficult to make it work. Which is why we talk to people even like Baked, because he has been a live streamer since like the beginning of time. It was just live streaming at the Capitol. All right. If you want to call in, I have the number up, right? There's definitely enough people here. 650-429-8294. If I don't get a call, then I will end the show. And that's not a threat, that's a promise. Because I won't but I figured out a way I can end the show and leave the stream live so people keep tuning in. By accident, I figured that out. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, Nathan, how you doing, man?
Good.
Cool, man. Well, I just want to say that I really liked today's show, and I just want to say nigger.
I knew it. Well, that's good. We got a prank call. I mean, it's not good because it's not good language and stuff, but he is a prank caller who calls in from time to time. I'll block the number. All right. Well, we'll see if anybody real calls in. There's definitely enough people here. So it's just a question of motivation, whether people feel motivated. All right, let me block this number. The thing about the N-word caller is somehow he's able to generate new phone numbers over and over again. So even if I block the number, somehow he can still call back. Did I give you guys enough life advice today? I got to give myself some. Like I need a handler too. Like everybody needs somebody to give them life advice. It's good to pair up with somebody who has your best interests. Thanks, people. See, that's all I have to do. Thanks, Rip the Veil. Thanks, Spaldo, who became a member. Thanks, Basil and Syra. Appreciate it. Thanks, Kim Sandoval. See, all I have to do is complain. Hey, you're on the air.
Hi, Nathan. It's Censored Mom.
Hey, Censored Mom. How are you doing?
I'm good. I was so super worried about you yesterday, though, when your power went out and everything.
Thanks. Thanks for worrying about me, but it wasn't anything to worry about. It was just annoying.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just annoying.
No.
We didn't have any flooding or anything, which...
Oh, okay.
So
I was going to say, like, are you in a flood zone?
No, but we're close. I mean, we are really close. Like a road that's really nearby was closed, and Katie sent me pictures from near her work where there were cars totally underwater. So it's like near there's flooding pretty close to us. We just don't happen to have it right in our house or anything, but it's bad. And I guess there's more. I guess there's more rain coming. I mean, it's like it's this weird thing where it's like storm after storm after storm.
Right. It's crazy because you guys were having a drought for the longest time, right?
I know.
And now it's like, okay, you need the rain, but you didn't need this much.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. Well, everything's all green. Yeah, it's really, California is weird because it'll be like the hills will be brown almost all year round. And then for part of the year it rains and then everything turns green. You know, it's
right.
So, but it's nice.
Yeah, no,
Things are filling up.
I've been to California twice in my life. I did love it. I did really enjoy it.
Yeah, the weather is like super nice here most of the time.
I know.
So, yeah.
And I'm super into growing succulents. So like
I
feel like
yep.
that'd just be the perfect place for me. But yeah, anyways, I was calling because I don't know if you already touched on the IRS topic. You probably have. Like I kind of like just got out of work, so I'm just tuning in.
No, I didn't touch on it. Yeah, they're gonna repeal so they voted. So a couple things. They voted to repeal to cut the funding, I think, for the extra 87,000 IRS agents. And then they're also voting to abolish the IRS entirely and stop taking personal income taxes, supposedly.
Really? Whoa. Wait, what?
You hadn't heard that?
Catch that.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. This is good news.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I mean, like the chance of it ever. Well, I mean, okay. So where I'm coming from is like the Ron Paul camp, eliminate it.
Yeah, right.
It's I mean, that's just also the way that I was raised in a way where my family was just always sort of opposed to these systems that are in place, shall we say. So I kind of grew up influenced by that. Like my dad was a car dealer. He always struggled with, owing taxes, or my uncle had chain stores and then he got behind and owed so much money to the IRS, and it's just crazy. So it's like that just affected me my whole life. Like my whole outlook about taxation is formed by that,
Yeah, it's not cool. And then when you find out about the Federal Reserve and how that was created and how income tax started right around the same time, and the way it's progressed
like
over time.
1913.
Yeah, like we didn't used to have it and everything was fine. We had more tariffs. We had like more tariffs, which is actually probably a better way to collect taxes. And then when income tax did come out, it was like at first it was only on the really rich people, but then eventually it got down to, well, even though a lot of people now don't pay taxes, I guess like 50% of people don't have to pay taxes. But they get the people that do.
But yet they do in the form of sales tax.
Yeah.
And if so, what I always say when people do say that, and I'm not saying that what you're saying is correct. Technically, a lot of people don't pay income tax. They get most of it back. Of course, you don't get your FICA back, and you don't get whatever goes into your Social Security. And we all know that technically there's not actually a pool of money that's being held in your name anywhere. So truthfully, it truly is taken from your paycheck, whether or not you want it out.
Yeah.
And that's not even counting any local taxes that are taken out or state. But so I guess where I was going, now I don't even know where I was going with this, but yeah.
Well, let me tell you this. You were surprised to hear this, so I just have a headline pulled up which I can show people.
Okay.
Which is that it is a headline today that House Republicans are going to vote on a bill abolishing the IRS and eliminating income tax. So apparently that's part of a deal between Speaker McCarthy and the House Freedom Caucus. So it doesn't mean anything because, of course, the Senate's not going to pass it, but but they are.
It's a start,
because
it's something. I feel like just putting this out into like the I don't know, putting it out into the universe, because for some people this would be a new concept. But I feel like a wildly popular one.
Right.
Wildly popular.
Right.
No, in Massachusetts, I'm not sure. Well, where I live in Massachusetts, they had tried to pass a tax that would have affected you if you like had a house, sold it, and made $1 million. You'd be classified in a certain way where they could have gone after you for like additional taxation. And I believe it got shut down. But I guess like even liberals in Massachusetts don't want to necessarily pay excessive taxes and be lumped in with called a millionaire just because maybe you inherited some money. Why should you be penalized? Like,
I know.
Just the inheritance tax. Right?
Yeah, just the inheritance tax is just absurd. I mean, you have money that the person already paid all their taxes on, and then you have to pay like a 40% tax on top of that. It's crazy.
Yeah, right. That's the thing too. We are double and triply taxed.
Yeah, I know.
And I was thinking, when people say, well, a lot of people don't pay taxes. Well, a lot of people do, because if you think about it, a homeless person has to pay sales tax on something. And is that fair? Because if you really want to splice hairs, is it fair? Is it fair for disabled people and homeless and whatever people to have to pay tax? Because I don't necessarily think that that's fair. But then again, I'm not one that's saying everything should be equal. But I don't know. You know, I know that they can't pull the plug on all these programs. It would probably cause complete chaos.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like one thing to vote on a bill to abolish income tax, and that's cool. But at the same
Right.
time, you need to tell me where you're going to cut all the government spending too, because you can't do one without the other. And nobody ever wants to,
Exactly.
nobody ever wants to talk about reducing the size of the government. Oh, nobody,
I,
Republicans either.
I know. And the thing is,
So,
too, their spending isn't necessarily all taxation
nope,
funded.
nope.
It's
It's funded by
probably
debt.
printed.
Yeah, it's funded
It's
by
just
debt.
printed.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
they
I know.
continue to print money. That's a super
And that's a tax on
weird
top.
and deep problem.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's another tax, the inflation tax. So,
Exactly.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. And I'm
Yep.
just hoping crypto's kind of like make a comeback, but
Yeah, I think, crypto, I think long term it will. I do think long term it certainly will, because eventually I think the Fed has to print money again. And so eventually we're going to get out of this kind of deflation we're in now. But I don't know short term, but I would definitely say gold and silver are safe. Like they're not going to crash, I don't think, like crypto could
right.
still have problems is the thing. Is crypto, there's like exchanges could go down, there could be more scams, but gold and silver, you don't have to worry about that stuff. They're going to be solid at least, and probably will
Precious
eventually
metals.
go up.
Yeah.
So
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a gold and silver person. I like crypto from the sense of as long as it's decentralized, and I guess my favorite type of crypto would be untraceable, but we all know that ends up getting you lumped in with, oh, you're trying to hide your money.
Yeah, right.
Or whatever.
Right.
But it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, right. Well, I like it too, though. I like Monero, and actually Litecoin can use privacy now. So Litecoin's kind of cool, but yeah, I'm into that stuff. That would be the ideal. So we'll see if crypto gets out of this situation it's been in for a while. It'll eventually take off again, though. It'll eventually will.
Yeah. So, all right, Nathan,
all right.
I'm going to let you go, but
all right,
thanks
Censored
for
Mom.
having me.
All right. Thanks for coming on.
Take care.
All right. See ya.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
All right. That was a nice call. Thanks for all the people who gave me donos. Pete says, loving the show from Australia. Kim Sandoval, thanks for the coffees. I thank Basil and Syra. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. And then thanks over on Rockfin, too. I'm sorry. I didn't even say. Thanks on Rockfin. Yeah, they aren't actually going to get rid of the income tax, though. Spoiler alert. It's not going to happen. But it's cool that they're voting on it. So I did open the phone again. I took, oops, no, I didn't. Took two phone calls so far with one prank call. 2 plus 1, 2 plus a prank call. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, I was calling in. I have watched your show for quite a while now. I found you on like a podcast thing is the way I found you.
Cool.
And I have really enjoyed keeping up with everything that you say. And as far as the shots for the kids go with the like the obese kids, I just think they have just found ways to just make more and more money off of everybody. You know, it's just more and more.
I know.
More and more profit, and
it's like each one of us
I
is.
just think it's terrible.
It's like each one of us is like we're viewed as like a cash cow almost for the pharmaceutical industry. It's like how can we extract more out of each person to where they have to be on these drugs?
Yeah, it really is like that. And it's funny because for years we were always told to accept our bodies as they are, and even like in all these ads today, there's absolutely obese people in ads now for underwear commercials and for clothing commercials and all these things to normalize it, but yet you still, so like you have to pick, like the media and whoever else is kind of pulling the strings. They need to pick. So do you want the kids to be skinny, or are you trying to?
Right.
Push this idea of obesity is beautiful.
I know it's a contradictory message, isn't it? Like the official message seems to be fat is healthy, but now they're saying, "Oh no, forget what we said. Actually, inject your kids with this stuff at 12 years old."
Yeah, and it's just I don't know. I feel like our kids are just being attacked at this point. I'm a mom of 3 kids, and I homeschool. Because I just don't even want my kids being exposed to just it's just nonsense being taught in schools.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. There's just so many things, like the whole transgender thing is pushing to make profit off of that. It's just so much money for these hospitals. And so anyway.
Yeah, it's true, man. It's all a scam. Pretty much. I mean, all of it is some kind of way to grift off our healthcare dollars off of us.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And make us like lifetime patients.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
for sure it is. But I appreciate your show. I appreciate everything you do, and
I appreciate you.
I try to watch every time you come on.
Cool.
Or if I don't watch it then I watch it afterwards. So
great, you're the best.
I'm glad that you have it on YouTube now, because when I found you, you weren't on YouTube. I just found you like on the podcast thing somewhere.
Yeah, good.
But I love it, so keep it up.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
See ya.
All right.
Cool. We have ladies listen to the show, so I have to give advice to ladies too. I can come up with advice. I have a feminine side. Hey, you're on the air.
Oh, well, I hate niggers. I hate.
That was crazy. You can't say stuff like that. It's inappropriate. We have people who call into the show try to sabotage things. But the weird thing is like you can. So it's weird about YouTube is like you can say that for some reason. I don't know why. It's not cool. Like I wish people wouldn't do it, but it's good. This is my final life lesson for the day. People will hate you when you're successful, especially when you're successful. In fact, it's one of the reasons that people don't hate me too much right now is that I'm just kind of like a minor show on the internet, which I kind of like because people aren't making videos about me and stuff, criticizing me, which is kind of nice, right? But in order for me to be successful in life, I have to have people tune into the show, and we have to have people tune in and also donate on super chats. And for that, I have to be more popular than I am now. So it's like a weird thing where I have to do something where it's not even necessarily great, but in order to achieve things, I have to. But once that happens, then people will attack you once you're popular. Just like people are attacking Baked Alaska right now, making like a 10-hour stream about him. So I think to myself, well, Baked Alaska, if people are making a 10-hour stream about you, then is it really like, are you really that bad? Or if people are getting content from you, then are you really that bad? But that's one thing that's true. I noticed in my life when I was more successful, the haters would come out. And that's because people don't like to see people succeed, that they don't think deserve it, So we're critical of each other. And then I'm critical of people. It's another life lesson, but it happens. So if people hate you for no reason, take it as a compliment. Just say, thank you. That's good. Your hate feeds me, and it does feed you. So if you are lucky enough, so look at it that way. If you're lucky enough that some people hate you for no good reason, then just think, okay, I must be doing something right. That's all. What did Jesus say? Jesus said they'll hate you for what you do. I'll get the Bible quote for next time. Jesus said that. He said they'll hate you, they'll despise you. So just keep that in mind when people hate you, if you're lucky enough for that to happen. That's my final bit of life advice for the day. All right. Thanks for the coffees today. Thanks for the support over on Rockfin. Thanks, RC Striker. Thanks, A-Rem, for a big tip. I've never even seen your name before. Thanks, A-Rem, for the big tip over on Rockfin. Thanks, RC Striker. Oh, also, again, thanks, Vogan Filter, who tipped me for not paying attention to the Rockfin chat. Appreciate it. That's over on Rockfin at rokfin.com/lifttheveil, where these shows are if the YouTube show ever gets censored. And then there is a podcast also, which will go out tonight. which you can find by searching for Lift the Veil anywhere they have podcasts. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you at the next one. For now, that's what it is.